You're tuned to Jazz Haven, broadcasting live from studios in downtown New Haven, Connecticut at WNHHLP, on the web at newhavenindependent.org, and at WETFLP, the jazz station, South Bend, Indiana, streaming at Jazz Radio, WETF.org. You're with Stan, the man with the jazz.
Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Merry little Christmas now. Christmas now.
You may recognize that voice. That's Samara Joy. She has a brand new release, and it's a holiday album. It's her first holiday recording, and it's called A Joyful Holiday. It's on the Verve label, and she's got Sullivan Fortner on piano, David Wong bass, Kenny Washington on the drums. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. And we started Jazz Haven with our own Dave Brubeck Quartet, but this recording was made back in 1959, not previously released, so it just came out. And he's got that fantastic band, Paul Desmond, Eugene Wright, and Joe Morello. It's called Live from the Northwest, 1959. And the tune we heard was Basin Street Blues. Coming up on Jazz Haven today, at the bottom of the hour, we got New York-based pianist, composer Larry Fuller joining us for an interview. He and his trio are at the Side Door Jazz Club this weekend. But before that, we've got new music from Corey Weeds on the tenor sax and the baritone saxophonist. Here's Michael Deese. Don't Look Back. That's Canadian tenor saxophonist Corey Weeds of his latest release, Home Cooking. And we heard Lullaby of the Leaves with his little big band. And after that, we heard from baritone saxophonist Michael Deese off his latest release, Swing Low. And that's on the Positone label. And the tune we heard was Don't Look Back. That was his composition. He's got Ingrid Jensen on the trumpet, Art Hirahara piano, Boris Kozlov bass, Rudy Royston on the drums. The Jazz Haven Jazz Calendar is a quick rundown of some of the jazz in the area this week. It's Wednesday, and each and every Wednesday at the Owl Shop Cigar Bar and Lounge in downtown New Haven, it's Kevin St. James and his band from 9 until midnight. And there's no cover. NMCC, no music cover charge. On Thursday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, New Haven Capella is at Gateway Community College kicking off Hanukkah. And that takes place at 4:30 p.m. in downtown New Haven. And happy Hanukkah to everyone involved. On Friday, it's Happy Hour Jazz. Join jazz historian and curator Frank Cochran at the Institute Library in downtown New Haven, beginning at 5 p.m. And it's all vinyl. It's a great listening experience. And featured this Friday is Oliver Nelson's Afro-American Sketches, plus the Clark Boland Big Band, Fire, Heat, Soul, and Grits. And urges folks who attend to bring something to share, to either drink or munch on. It's free and open to the public. Donations are accepted to deter expenses. NMCC. Also on Friday, the New York Afro Bop Alliance joins with the Guilford High School Jazz Ensemble for a free jazz concert at the Guilford High School Performing Arts Center. Music starts at 7:30 p.m. Then there's the Fall Concert Series at Firehouse 12 in downtown New Haven. This week, it's guitarist Tom Guanara. He plays guitar. There's always two shows, 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. And you can get your tickets either online or at the box office, pending availability. And this weekend at Connecticut's premier jazz spot, the Side Door Jazz Club at the Old Lime Inn, for 2 nights, it's New York-based pianist Larry Fuller. Both nights, the program begins at 8:30, and we'll be chatting with Larry shortly. He will be joining us around the bottom of the hour. Saturday, December 9th, it's that historic jazz jam at Cafe 9, downtown New Haven from 4 to 7 p.m. All musicians are welcome to sit in after the first set. Featured this weekend is Dr. G on guitar, Jeff Fuller bass, Barry Reese on the trumpet and drums. And on Sunday, December 10th, New Haven Capella Hanukkah Party takes place at Hoffman Summerwood in West Hartford from 1 to 2:30 p.m. and it's free. And over in Guilford at AU Thai, the Thai restaurant, it's the Artie Dixon Group, and the music starts at 6 p.m. NMCC. That concludes the jazz calendar. Go to jazzhaven.org for the complete calendar and updates. Check out some jazz this week. It's America's only original art form. As I mentioned earlier, New York-based pianist, composer Larry Fuller will be joining us shortly. And just for your information, the broadcast will be on several streaming devices, Twitter or X, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So if you want to see what we look like, you can join us there. In the meantime, we're going to play a tune from Larry Fuller's latest release called Overjoyed, and that's on the Capri label. This is The Mooch. Hey, Larry. Thanks for joining us. How's everything? You okay? Can't hear you. We gotta make an adjustment here, I guess. Okay, we'll try it again. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Jazz Haven. How have you been?
Good, thank you.
Good. Now, if you recall, this interview was supposed to take place 3 years ago, January of 2020. But I think there was a death in your family, and we had to postpone it. You were at the side door that coming weekend.
Okay.
All right. Does it ring a bell at all?
Yes.
Okay. So
I
maybe.
had forgotten about that, but it's my pleasure to be here now. So
Okay, great, welcome. And we've had a pandemic since then. So what's been happening with you in the last 3 years? Maybe just some brief things that are important to you since 2020.
Yeah, well, through the pandemic, I did a series of streamed concerts like so many musicians were doing. But I had the pleasure to have some series of concerts with some great guest artists, with my trio. We had we were using this venue. It's a loft outside of Philadelphia. And so it was kind of a nice venue that the bassist Matthew Parrish had access to. And so anyway, we streamed these concerts, trio concerts, but with guests, and we had different episodes. We had Ken Poplawski and Warren Wolf did one, Terrell Stafford and Houston Person. Peter Bernstein did another one. So, those kept me busy through the pandemic, and then just since things have been opened up now, I'm just trying to resume my touring schedule, and just played with the great Houston Person recently, and looking forward to this engagement up at the Side Door coming up this weekend.
Okay. Now you perform mostly in trios or quartets. Is that your preference? And have you done other things that maybe we're not aware of? In larger groups?
I mean, over the course of my career, I've played with some really great singers, and sometimes with larger ensembles. But the bulk of my career has been playing with a trio. I've been leading my own trio, but in my career, I started out, I have kind of the unique experience of having played in two trios that were not led by the piano chair. So I played in the great drummer Jeff Hamilton's trio, and then later on I played in Ray Brown's trio.
Ray Brown.
So that gave me a lot of experience. Yeah, I got a lot of experience, playing in that format, but watching two great musicians lead their group. So that was a great experience for me.
And tell us about how you connected up with Ray Brown in the first place. Because you were with him for about 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, I was with him until he passed away. And
so you were the last
group
the last pianist to play in his trio. Yeah, great.
Yes, I was. I joined in 2000, and he passed away in July of 2002. So I was with him for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to how I joined Ray, I was, as I mentioned, I was playing in Jeff Hamilton's trio, and Ray heard me play with Jeff. And I also, I think I first played with Ray at one of these jazz parties where they kind of mix and match all the musicians,
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a recording in 1998 while I was still in Jeff Hamilton's trio, and I asked Ray if he would record with me, and he agreed to. So I did this recording with Jeff and Jeff Hamilton and Ray Brown, and then
so Ray Brown was your side man. So Ray Brown was your side man.
on that record. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd agreed to record with me, and then at some point shortly after that, Jeff Keyser, his pianist at the time, couldn't make a tour in Europe, so he thought of me, and I happen to know quite a few of the arrangements that they were playing, so I think that helped me, in Ray deciding to call me when Jeff Keyser actually ended up leaving the group. So, we did this tour of Europe, and I knew enough of the material that we could play Ray's material. I didn't know all of it, but enough to make it, a tour out of it where we could play the arrangements and so forth. So
Great.
that's kind of how that happened. Yeah.
He spent quite a bit of time with the Oscar Peterson trio, and Oscar Peterson trio has a new release out. Did you know that? Con Alma.
I saw something about that. Yeah, it's amazing all these recordings that are coming up out of the
they
the
seem
woodwork
to
that are
they seem to find them in the vaults or buried
it's
somewhere.
so
This one is live in Lucano in 1964, and
Very
it's Ray Brown with Ed Thigpen and Oscar Peterson. We just listen to this for a bit. We'll keep that in the background for a little bit. The first tune we played before we started talking was from your third release, I think, your third recording.
Yeah.
And Overjoyed, it's called. And it was called The Mooch. Now, there's got to be a backstory to that. How did you come up with that title? That's your composition, right?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, when I titled it that, the classic Ellington tune, The Mooch. But it was just a name, a little endearing name for. I wrote it for our little family member, our dachshund. He was always so playful and brought such happiness and joy to our family, and he was always, of course, mooching for stuff. So I wrote that little kind of vibe groove that sort of captured his personality, I think.
All right. Well, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Now, the question everyone here in the greater New Haven area is asking, are you related to Jeff Fuller?
No.
Do you know Jeff Fuller?
I don't know Jeff. I know of him. I don't think I've ever met Jeff. Yeah, there were a few Fullers in the jazz the jazz world. Of course, the great Curtis Fuller. But also there was a Canadian musician. I can't think of his first name right now. Drummer. But anyway, no, I'm not related to Jeff.
Okay, all right. Well, that was the big question around here. Well, is he related to Jeff? No. Now, Houston person, how did you make that connection?
Oh boy, I've been knowing Houston for a long time. When I was working with Ernestine Anderson, he was at the time he had his group with the great singer Etta Jones, and Etta and Ernestine were very good friends. So I think I first started being around him back in those days. But I just think over I played a lot of these festivals and parties, jazz parties, where they mix and match artists together, and I think I played with Houston in some of those party formats initially. and
Huh.
just it's always a pleasure to play with him. He's such an icon and just so
Yeah.
inspiring. I mean, his age, he's 89 and he's just sounds so great still. It's amazing, and he's traveling still, and just a
Yeah.
blessing that he's still doing it.
Yeah. Did you know he was from New Haven? New Haven, Connecticut.
Houston?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I thought he was from Florence, South Carolina.
No, New Haven, Connecticut. And he just was presented last month with an award for one of New Haven's living legends. So, and he performed. It was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Had the people, yeah. Okay, here's a little bit of your last recording with Houston Person. It's Reminiscing at Rudy's, is the name of the release. And it was recorded at Rudy Van Gelder's famed studios, Inglewood Cliffs, New Jersey. Yeah, so that must have been an experience.
That was a thrill because I had never recorded there, and so that was a thrill. I mean, geez, the history of that place and
yeah.
all the you go in there and it just all these classic albums that are on the walls, and it's just amazing. So
Yeah, it's
Houston's been recording there for years. So
it's got to
yeah,
be
that was
like a museum.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And you never know it was there. I mean, it's just this kind of nondescript building that sits back way down a driveway, and
Huh.
yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to hear a little bit of At Long Last Love from Houston Person, Reminiscing at Rudy's with Russell Malone, Larry Fuller, Matthew Parrish, and Louis Nash. All right. Nice comp in there by Larry Fuller. So, now who's in your trio this weekend?
I have the great drummers. Actually, Carmen and Tori is doing Friday night, and Jason Tiemann, who's been playing with me for a number of years, will be playing on Saturday night with me. And Lauren Cohen is the bassist. He's a great bass player on the scene in New York, and played with Monty Alexander and a lot of other great artists. So yeah,
Okay.
great musicians.
Sounds good. And who's your favorite pianist?
I have so many that I love, but I have to say I love
Name
all
a
the
few,
guys
maybe.
Yeah. I love I love Oscar Peterson, Phineas Newborn, Cedar Walton, Monty Alexander, and Gene Harris, and
So
Hank Jones.
would you say that you try to model yourself after some of those pianists, or you just have your own thing and have been doing that for a while?
Yeah, I've tried to play along with all those records and absorb and steal things that I can.
I hear you.
You ultimately you got to make it come out in your own voice. But yeah, that, just trying to learn in a real organic way from the masters is how I learned when I was young, playing with recordings and trying to steal things off the records.
And when you were young, you started playing piano when you were 10 or 11 years old?
Yeah, about that, about 10 years old, which is not really that young, a lot of kids start at 4 or 5, but anyway, yeah, I bet I started around that age. And I mean, it's such a different scene now with how jazz education and everything is, in the academic arena now,
Does the name Candy Johnson mean anything to you?
Yeah, that was one of my first mentors and teachers. He was a great tenor player that had he had a program in the public schools where I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and then he started taking me under his wing and taking me on his own gigs when I was a young teenager. And so I was blessed to have some great mentors like that,
Okay. Now, is there anything we kind of getting to a close here? Anything you'd like to say, or you'd like our listeners to know before they go to the concert on Saturday or Friday?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate everyone supporting this art form and live music, and we're just looking forward to swinging and playing some music that will hopefully, have a great time and uplift people. And I try to play great music, but music that is for people. That's what I try to do. So
absolutely,
it's a great venue too. The Side Door is a great venue. So we need to support these venues that are keeping this music going. And so anyway, it's always such a great crowd there at Old Lyme, and appreciate all the people that come out for sure.
Yeah, that's Connecticut's premier jazz spot, and we're certainly glad it's there. Okay, Larry, we want to thank you for joining us. We're going to close out our program here with release from your latest recording. And do you have anything new coming out anytime soon? Are you going to be recording?
Yeah, I'm gonna be working on a new project soon. I don't have anything in stone with it, but yeah, definitely time to do another one.
All right, sounds good. This is from your 2019 recording, Overjoyed, and it's the title track. Okay, Larry, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we look forward to your concert Friday and Saturday at the Side Door Jazz Club.
Okay, great. Thank you.